But our guest today is Michelle Ashley from Michelle Ashley Cake, and she brought me treats. This is wonderful.
It would probably be a little better if you heated it up even. You know why? Because then the frosting gets gooey, gets down in the crevices, and it's
it warms me down here.
Oh, boy, does it.
I'm Arthur Meeker, you're the co-host. And
this is for Arthur,
who is not eating any carbs right now, but I am getting a gift box later on after I go back into the carb phase.
There you go.
Do you have another napkin?
How about another tissue?
I have wipes in my car too that I was like, maybe I should bring those in.
Mike, do you mind if I ask her a couple questions?
Fire away.
Okay, just checking. So, your cakes are wonderful, and I saw in your bio that you started in your kitchen. Mm-hmm. And how long ago was that?
In 2015, I started taking some classes. So that's truly when it all began.
And then how long in your kitchen before you had a retail space? And
so,
where you're at now, is that your first retail space?
Okay, so I opened my first retail space, which is not the same, but in the same building, in 2018. So from 2015 to 2018, I was growing, learning. In that time, I also went and rented a commercial kitchen. Oh boy. So you're talking $25 an hour. Takes 4 hours. You have to do it start to finish in there. Start to finish. We're talking make the cake, make the batter, bake the cake, make the frosting, cool down the cake, frost the cake, decorate the cake. By the time 4 hours is done, I got a little clunky thing. I basically was paying for people to eat my cake.
Yeah.
But I had the biggest passion for it, so I didn't care. I didn't care that I was basically paying for people to eat my cake. I was so happy,
That's great.
And I went to Fred Meyer even before the rented commercial kitchen, and I walked in and I said, I heard that you might be looking for a cake decorator. I got a certificate. I took some classes.
Oh.
And they said, there's HR, go apply. And they hired me.
Oh,
yeah.
So you worked at Fred Meyer's for a little while.
I worked at Fred Meyer for 6 months. It was a great opportunity to learn. And I recommend anybody that is looking to start a new business or whatever, start by going to work for someone else, at least for a little while, see how they do things. They taught me how to build a beautiful pastry case. I developed my own style. I know that I did because I see my case and I'm like, that's mine. I see mine over at Brew. That's mine. It's got my style. It's got my decor. It's a thing.
Well, you just mentioned something that's very interesting. You mentioned the Brew. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah. So Mitch and Kathy Teal, they're the owners of Brew. They're the owners of Brew, and Brew is a coffee and tap house in Independence. And if you know anything about Independence, on Main Street, there's the water fountain or the fountain, and then there's the amphitheater right there where they have a lot of summer concerts, they have summer movies, that kind of thing. Their coffee and tap house is right there on that corner. So we're talking the very highest foot traffic for this little town. Very much a hallmark town, that it's got the one street that is whimsical and yet antique and just everything that screams a good hometown. They came strolling into my shop. They left their card. They said, will you have Michelle call us? My team texted me. Before they were out of the parking lot, I texted them back and said, how can I help you? They're like, yeah, we just want to talk about, selling some of your pastries in our shop. I'm thinking, okay, are you done?
No, I just need to put them over there.
And so I was thinking that maybe it was going to be a dessert, we're on a couple of restaurant menus. And so I was thinking that that's what it was going to be. The funny story is, at the same time, maybe a day or two before I went and met with Mitch and Kathy, because I went down there to talk to them, And it was a beautiful sunny day, and I had to wait and wait and wait. And they're like, sorry, sorry. And I said, is it always like this? I'm looking at all this foot traffic, right? And they're like, no. It's sunny right now, but the rain is coming, and so it'll slow down. I said, I'm going to come back when it rains. So in that time, the Chamber of Commerce had reached out to me and said, hey, you want to get to know each other? You want to have coffee? And I said, heck yeah. And so not really knowing why, I got my appointment at the chamber. I went over there and I had coffee and I said, well, where's your membership packet? She was like, really? I didn't want to be presumptuous. She slid the membership packet over and I joined at the executive level, or the platinum level. I don't know why I did that. I was thinking to myself later, oh, my shop's in Salem. Ooh, what did I just do? That's a lot of money, right? Well, then I sat down with Mitch and Kathy on the first rainy day, and it started out as a conversation about a simple dessert in their shop. He said, you can have that whole entire pastry case. It's all you, your logo. We want you here. He said, it's a no-brainer. And I was like, oh my gosh. We had a grand opening, a ribbon cutting. I am there every day. I live in Independence, and it's one of the greatest things. I'm telling you, it was a true blessing.
That's
and
amazing.
they just happened to stroll into my shop. They said, we follow you on Facebook.
That's amazing. Do you have plans in the future to have other locations like that?
I would like to. I would like to think that, I've got the stamina for that. I've got a pretty full plate right now, just juggling all of these different things. But I would like to hope that, we could grow into that.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that. I think that's amazing. Mike, I'm sure glad that you pushed the desserts away.
God, how much sugar I have right now?
I'm sure. Well, in all fairness, you ate more than half the box.
Yeah. Well, hello. I think it's bad for me not to eat the entire box to show my appreciation.
I love
for
that you were
those
so
lovely
appreciative.
desserts.
Yes.
No, they're also very delicious.
Thank you.
So the other thing I wanted to ask you too about what makes Michelle Ashley cakes so different than everybody else's out there? Because I think that's an important thing that everybody should know.
That's a great question. Yeah. So it is common for bakeries to use a bulk premix. So it's like Betty Crocker or Duncan Hines in a 50-pound bag, right? You just add water and oil, and anybody can do it. You don't have to understand the science behind it. That is just not what we do. It is not what we do. My pastry chefs have culinary degrees. We're using fresh ingredients. We are using premium ingredients. We're using real butter, real sugar, cake flour, all-purpose flour. We're using all the things. It's not a blend. Like I said, I am not talking bad about any other bakeries that do this. It's common, but it's just not what we do. So I think it's what truly sets us apart and makes us unique, because we're a special gem. In Salem, we have a huge variety. We have 3 pastry cases of scratch-made desserts, an entire pastry case dedicated to dietary. The whole case is gluten-free, but our keto is also gluten-free, and so is our vegan. So they can all reside in that same case together. One happy little family.
I love that.
And I've met your team, and they're amazing to work with as well. But they, you can just tell they're very, very engaged. They're not just going through the motions of, what's this recipe, what's that recipe. They're always challenging what you do.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice to have a team behind you that has that kind of
Passion.
passion and engagement of I'm sure they challenge you at times.
Of course they do.
When you're like, no, I just like this. I go, yeah, but you know what? If we, and I've always, it's a tough one when you have people like that around you, you've got all that entrepreneurial
The
mindset around
creative.
you.
Oh,
But
yeah.
at the same time, you get
Yeah.
some amazing things out of that. And so it is interesting how sometimes having a team that has that much
Yeah.
behind them, it also is like,
Well,
takes a lot of energy too.
And plus, they've been with me for years.
Yeah.
I mean, through thick and thin, they've been with me for years. I don't have a lot of turnover. And so we've gotten to know each other super good. We're talking through tragedies. Like they picked me up off the floor when I got the phone call that my dad didn't survive surgery. They called my husband. You know what I'm saying? They're there for, they create customized gifts for me for my birthday. They took my cake that was presented on HGTV and turned it into a puzzle.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? What so thoughtful. And so what it is, it for me to have people surround me every day that love, encourage, uplift. These aren't just my employees. This is my family.
yeah.
You know, we are truly a little family unit. And along the way, there have been a few, you know, stragglers that come in and, you know, but don't spend much time. There's not a lot of those. There's just, you know, if you can't blend with the family, then you won't be long on my team.
I love
You
that
know?
team culture.
Yeah.
Team
Yeah.
culture is very important. That really is very important in any business, and that everybody gets along. And,
Yeah.
I
and
think it also gives them the confidence,
yeah,
you know, when they're coming up with something, they got ideas to pitch. Because I think a lot of companies, you know, there's not that room to do that. You know, I'm sure your team comes to you and says, hey, they're comfortable coming to you and saying, hey, I was thinking about this. Or even sometimes going, you know, Arthur, I don't like where you want me to go with this. If you know, I mean, that they're comfortable enough to, in some ways, oppose you and things like that. That's when you really know you've got a great team. Is
Yeah.
when they're really
And-
challenge you as well.
and I
Yeah.
think that really has a lot to say about the leadership.
Thank you.
It goes right up to the top because the leadership is what sets the pace for the culture. And when you have a toxic culture, then it's just shining right on that spotlight on that.
I
leader.
agree 100%. And you know, when I became self-employed and having employees, I didn't have the benefit of all these management classes that I get to take now, you know.
Yeah.
I take a ton of leadership and management. It's like my passion now.
Yeah.
But when I first started out, oh my gosh, I was not pleasant to work for. I was like laser focused and it's got to be this way and oh my God, it's wrong. And you know what I'm saying? I was so green at trying to lead people. And then it just hit me. Like I knew that I wanted other people to feel. I wanted to be the kind of boss that I always admired. Okay, and not all of my bosses did I admire. But I knew I had an idea of the type of things that I wanted to be and do for my employees. And I think now it definitely speaks volumes because like I said, especially my pastry chefs, they've been with me for years through thick and thin. My refugee bakers, they came to me through the Salem for Refugees program, which just means that it's not a program that I got any benefit for other than in my heart. These people needed a job, and where I only needed one, and I could really only afford one, Salem for Refugees said, hire two, because they needed to be able to partner with each other, not just for like a ride and trying to figure out the translation piece because they did not speak English, very little. I trained them. I trained them how to bake cake. I trained them the words on the recipe. I had them repeating the words butter, sugar, showing them the words. And what I essentially thought would take 2 weeks took 3 months. Acting out charades in my bakery, you know. But you know what? Now the one is a translator for the other one. they're still with me. It's almost 4 years later, you know?
Fantastic.
And so they also are family. It gives me goosebumps because, like I said, each of my employees means so much to me. We do team building events, so we have we've had it catered, and we've gone to other bakeries to be able to buy their desserts and their treats and their breads and things like that, so that my chefs can relax and try someone else's stuff. We have painted the Grinch. We have thrown pottery. We have made cheese. Just like all these different things that we've decorated cookies. So I brought someone in, you know, and
Well,
all of these different things.
I do have a team building exercise you can do. I need to have a shed built. And
Yeah.
I think that if you guys would all come together in my yard and
You
build
really
a shed
want that?
together, I really think that's a great idea.
It could be glued together with buttercream.
I think that's a great idea.
It'll do great until it's over
Use
80.
that sooner on. But I'm just saying, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you. You said buttercream, and it dawned on me. I was going to ask you, what's your go-to, fondant or buttercream?
Buttercream. So
why?
I knew that I wanted to specialize in buttercream. I didn't want to do fondant. First of all, it reminds me of like playing with Play-Doh, and while it can be very soothing, it can also be very frustrating. If you don't have that, if it's not a natural skill, and it wasn't for me, no. So I wanted to be really good. And I wanted to be really good at buttercream, and that is the direction that I went. So my cake artists that come on, typically, so I have one. She has over 20 years experience, and she does it all. She does it all. Now I try to minimize the amount of fondant pieces that we do take on because. It can take a long time, and you know what I'm saying? It's not, we're not set up for that really. We don't have all the little tools, and now we have some, but when it comes to buttercream, we have all the things, you know?
Right.
And so I wanted to specialize in that, and I picked a direction.
I love that.
Yeah.
Great choice, by the way.
Who doesn't love buttercream?
Yeah, yeah.
And at my shop, we make a variety of buttercreams, but the staple is American buttercream. It's a crusting buttercream. So what that does is it puts like a little shell over the top, which kind of helps to stabilize it some. It's a sturdier buttercream, great for designing and decorating cakes, but also it's still silky, smooth, buttery, hint of vanilla. I use a signature buttercream. It's actually a classic wedding buttercream. So my stuff, even my chocolate, has like a small hint of almond. And like sometimes people will tell me like, oh my gosh, your chocolate kind of tastes like cherry. And it's that those people are sensitive to almond. They can pick up on that like, oh. Yeah.
Sorry if I'm
No,
taking all the
okay,
questions.
no,
You got questions, fire them away. You better jump in, Michael. I was going to ask you, so running a business, there's highs and lows. Can you think of an example of something, a low, and what it was and kind of how you overcame that?
Wow. I sure can.
Yeah.
How much time do we have?
Ashley, get a shovel. Let's dig in.
So I'll share something with you that hasn't ever been discussed publicly. And you can choose to edit it
I
or
just want
not.
to tell you this. I just saw an article, and I don't remember who she was. I just glanced at it. It's a business. It's a restaurant owner here in town, and she was opening up, and she did a really personal post about what people don't know about business owners and what it takes to run your business and make sure that you're opening on time, aside from everything else that's going on in your life. And she said something about she was like running on low energy. They had an emergency with a goat that was like life or death. they had to deal with that. She was up all night, but then she had to run to the chef's store early in the morning.
I saw that.
And
Yeah,
then she
it is.
made sure that they were open and still running, but it was like that raw emotion you could see on her face.
Yep.
Like what everyone goes through just to be present and making their business be successful, let alone for everybody that shows up to support that business. So that's real rawness.
So I'll give you this real rawness, and you can choose to use it or not. I'll just tell you that. It is so extremely personal for me. Like I said, my side anyway, has never, ever been heard publicly. I did do another podcast, but their hard drive got corrupt and they missed it. So I said that was a one and done. I'm not coming back and talking about that ever again. But I don't know why. I just feel led to today. Back in 2020, I was getting ready to move my shop down the hall, and I was also having a house built. Most of you know that I'm in recovery for 11 years now. And so I was trying to mentally and emotionally prepare for these two big moves. They were going to be taking a lot of my time and a lot of my emotion, and I really was trying to navigate this. In the middle of those two things, my dad called me and said, like, I have to go in the hospital. I got to have this surgery, but I got to stay in here a week and get off these blood thinners. And I was like, okay, I'll be on the next flight. And he's like, don't come. They're not going to let you in. Okay. So my dad's super active, and he gets bored easy. So I was sending him videos along the way of my shop, and like the Justin rolling up the door for the first time after he had just painted the table and chairs. And I was like, Dad, did you see my shop? And then me with my hard hat walking on paper, like, this is going to be my bedroom. I have goosebumps. And like, Dad, did you see? And my dad got to tell me, like, I'm so proud of you. And my dad was military, we grew up, we didn't hear I love you very often. We didn't hear I'm sorry. We didn't hear thank you. But the second that I didn't say thank you, my dad correcting me. And so my dad told me, like, I'm so proud of you. You have done so much with your life. I couldn't, I'm proud of you. And then, so he says, I got to turn off my phone. They're going to take me in. Then I'll be in recovery before you hear anything. And so my dad's wife called me. It was super busy at my shop. And she said, I don't have an update for you. I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you. I just don't have anything to report. 20 minutes later, she called back and she said, Michelle, I just don't know how to tell you, but your dad didn't make it. His lungs filled up with blood and they could not save him. And so I just fell to the floor. And this is where I told you, like, my employees picking me up off the floor because I couldn't imagine, like, it was over. And so I went home. Sorry. I went home and I stayed at home. And what happened during this time? A lady went on social media and said, I went to Michelle Ashley's shop and her cake is crap. It's garbage. The frosting is terrible. It tastes like Play-Doh. Just tearing us down. And I said publicly, I said, you have so much to say here. You couldn't reach out to me and tell me? And she said, no. Because I didn't want you to have the opportunity to interject. I wanted people to know my real experience. Well, when I said that, people began to attack me for not receiving her feedback well. And then more people did, and more people. And So nobody knew what I was already dealing with, and that I just left my shop to my employees. They were doing the best that they could without any guidance. I checked out. So when this happened, this is where it gets really terrible. When that happened, my husband sitting there, and I'm just sobbing, right? And I got my phone and I'm just refreshing, watching these comments build. And more people saying all these terrible things about my shop and my prices and my cake and my product and me. Mm-hmm. And my husband said, like, who started this? And I showed him this lady's profile. Well, he went in the bedroom or whatever. I refreshed it, and then I see my husband's profile on this page. Mm. And he had went to her profile, and he put a middle finger on her profile. Mm. Meanwhile, I'm screaming like, what did you do? What did you do? Yeah. Look, now they're really attacking me. I couldn't do it. I have to tell you that it was one of the darkest times in my life. Wow. If there was any time that I ever felt one bit like I might want to just not be here tomorrow, it was then. And I stayed at home grieving and hiding for 5 months while people continued to attack me on social media. And it was, what I can tell you is that what I learned from that is, number one, don't reply at all. If they want to leave a review on Google, that is the place for it, right? But I no longer try to explain and you know what else? This is sad, but I honestly hope that in your lifetime that you all find a Justin Timberlake. Somebody that will always pick you first. Somebody that will go to bat for you. Somebody that's going to pick you up and hold you and encourage you and love you for the rest of your life. Because that's what he does for me. Mm-hmm. And so every day he would come home and he would say to me, you didn't go to work again today? This is 5 months into it, right? And I said, well, no, I got up. And he'd say, well, I know you didn't go to work because your work shirts are this, but your pajamas are this. And so what I learned is how not to handle it. But what I gained by walking through that, I saw some real ugliness, But on the flip side of that, you wouldn't believe the people that I met along the way that came to my shop that said, we came to support you. We don't even know you, but we saw what happened. Some of those people, a lot of those people are still my customers today. I've learned the value of my actual customers. Mm-hmm. There's the keyboard warriors. There is a group that where misery can join together, and I am not a member of that group. I quit the group, and I sent a message to the admin. I said, somehow it's auto joining me every time that I post something in the marketplace. Can you ban me for life so that I never have to see? Because that group is a dumpster fire. And at the time, I don't know if you care, but at the time it was called Salem Eats 2.0. I think it's called something different now, but still, it's still a dumpster fire. And if you want to say something bad about me, there's your people. Go ahead. There's your people. There's a group for it. There's a group for everything, by the way. So I walked away from that with a whole new perspective. I finally decided I had 3 choices. I could either piece out my shop and sell it off. I could try to sell it as a whole or hire a manager. Or I could get back in there and take the bull by the horns, and that's what I did. I pulled up my pants, I walked into my shop, and I set them back. And every single one of my employees embraced me, got my apron, put it on me, and helped me recover from that.
Yeah. And you didn't look back.
Now I actually can help other people who are attacked in that cancel culture fashion.
Yeah.
Just because of that experience.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I don't think people realize how impactful it is on small businesses, the reviews and things like that, because you put your heart and your soul into it.
Yeah.
And I think, it's not just some kind of, I don't like this or I don't like that, but, they can get pretty hurtful. They get very specific because they're just trying to get to that, to dig as deep as they
Yes.
can. So those people are just not healthy. I stay away from them as well, but.
Misery loves company.
Yeah.
But
and
Yes.
I really think that the world is really in tune to that now too. When people look past reviews left, and for me, I know that I look at when I see a negative review, I go look and see who left that review and what they're
Yeah.
doing.
Yes,
And then you
we
see-
all do, right?
Yeah, profile picture. I want to know who that is. And then I look and see who else they bashed. And
Yeah.
and if you get a bad review, you always look at like that. And and I live my life giving positive reviews. I love going on Google. And I know as a business owner, if I have a bad experience, I want to let the owner know.
Yes,
I'm
for
going
sure.
to search out that owner, and I'm going to be very outspoken to them about it. And because especially in the restaurant industry, things happen. And as a business owner, we rely on employees. And sometimes employees have a bad day or something happens.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I always make sure that we leave I always leave a positive review.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time just qualifying people.
Yeah.
Like, okay, is this really worth my time and energy? Because there are some people out there that will say some things, but you have to kind of weed through that, because maybe they're just trying to get your attention on something, instead of just dismissing all of them as negative people. Sometimes people will leave a review because I've had somebody leave a 5-star review and have a lot of criticism and different things, and I was like, well, I appreciate the 5-star because that is on your rating and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff, but they still wanted to be able to get the message across. And I really appreciate people that will do that. You don't have to leave the 1-star to get the attention or to that kind of stuff. You can actually leave a good review, even if it's critical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what I appreciate the most is when somebody wants to give me positive criticism in a way, and constructive criticism, I guess.
Criticism.
There we go.
Constructive.
Okay, that was me.
Too much sugar. Too much sugar.
Can't use words over 5 letters now. The constructive criticism, I think, is super important because sometimes, in my cases, I don't know what's going on all the time. I can't see everything. When you're out there hustling, we're all out there hustling. And so, you gotta, sometimes it's nice to have somebody come in and go, hey, by the way, I called, we had a customer call, I called it like 5 minutes before closing, and then, ranted with me about how, I've worked in the industry and I this and I that, and 5 minutes before closing, and I'm like, the whole time I'm like, I know, I don't want them to say they're closed either, but what's nice is I was able to find out the location, and then we just train. I mean, that's all we do all the time is train. And
For sure.
And training is not a negative thing, it's a positive thing. I mean, really,
Absolutely.
somebody trained me.
Well, and if people take the time to reach out to me and let me know, and I mean, it still happens, like, hey, Michelle, we got our cake. It maybe wasn't exactly what we were hoping for in the design or whatever. I will do almost anything to salvage it so that they're a returning customer. It's important to me. And so if it completely goes sideways, it's not because I didn't try.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't save it. But I will do anything to get down the road and fix it.
And that shows a good business owner is
Thank
going
you.
to make it right with a client and make that experience really good. So another question I had that I really thought about is, what is your favorite type of cake?
Oh, so I would have to say it was always Italian cream.
Go ahead. I have multiple Italian cream. Go ahead.
He has multiple. So Italian cream is actually a Southern thing, and I'm from Texas, and it was super popular in Texas. That's where I was first introduced to it. And it is an almond-based cake with toasted pecans and coconut, and it's got cream cheese frosting, and then it's got more coconut and toasted pecans mixed in the frosting. And I like a little caramel drizzle over mine, and even a little pinch of sea salt. It is so good. Now, having said that, I was never a chocolate person until my friend that taught me to bake from scratch telling me it's the way, stop using box mix in your kitchen. I started making chocolate cake and using Bob's Red Mill and Ghirardelli chocolate cocoa, like the high-end quality stuff. And now I'm a chocolate girl. I am kind of a chocolate snob because when I go somewhere else and I'm testing that crumb and the texture and the richness and the depth of it, I got it. My cake is that.
Awesome.
That chocolate cake is over-the-top chocolate.
So I got curious, Dubai chocolate. What's the crave of that?
That's
I've
just,
never had
that is
it.
this trendy thing. It's actually lasted longer than I thought it would. So it is a pistachio butter in the chocolate bar, and it also has a shredded phyllo dough, but it is a Turkish shredded phyllo dough, and I can't say the word, so don't ask me to.
Isn't it like kefir or something like that?
It's something,
Yeah.
okay? I can't say it, so I don't even try.
You're looking at me.
It is.
I know.
That is it. Yes. And so when we do sell Dubai chocolate bars in my shop, and I order them from Turkey.
Oh, wow.
We looked at making them, and I wanted it to be truly authentic. We looked at making them, and it's very tedious and very expensive. And so what I did is I knew that I wanted to resell them, but I wanted the good stuff, right? And so I probably tried 20 different bars to where now I can't stand Dubai. Ugh. No more Dubai for me. But I was able to land on one, and it is truly from Turkey. You ought to see it when it comes. It is like to get through customs and everything.
I'll have to try that.
This packaged, I'll bring you one.
I'll have to try that. Yeah. So Mike, what's your favorite cake? I know you said you have many, but what's your favorite? If you had a whole plate, what are you going to reach for?
Turtle Dream
Cake or desserts, or cake?
Well,
Just a
we're
cake.
talking about cake right now.
I like chocolate.
Chocolate
I
cake.
think a chocolate cake with chocolate frosting.
What about, what would your favorite pie be? Do you make pies?
We do.
So what would your favorite pie be?
I like two styles. I love cherry pie.
Okay.
Cherry's got to be good though. But the other one is I like banana cream.
That's my favorite. So
So-
every Thanksgiving, I have all of my employees write down the pie that they want. That's my gift to them. And I buy them smoked meat, either a turkey or a ham. So you pick. Well, I always pick for me too. And I always get banana cream every year. And do you know what the crazy thing is? I'm the only one in my house that will eat desserts or pie or anything. So I get a whole pie. I get my one little slice. I eat a few bites, and then I'm like, what am I going to do with this now?
Wait,
Call Mike, he has an answer.
so did that come from as you were starting your bakery out of the house? Everybody was tasting your stuff and you overloaded them, or?
No, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to tell you. My husband cannot stand scratch-made desserts. He likes Little Debbie's. He likes. So listen, it was Christmas time. It was Christmas time a couple of years ago, and one of our crown jewels for Christmas is Christmas morning cinnamon rolls, and so. So it was Christmas time, and I opened up our refrigerator, and there was Pillsbury cinnamon rolls in the door. And I got my camera, I recorded a video, and I said, "This is blasphemy.
Yeah.
This is blasphemy." And I said, "Why would you do that? I'll make them for you." And he said, "Nope, I don't want them."
See,
He likes not real stuff, but that's okay. He can get anything he wants. I don't
so
care.
different.
Twinkies. I was like, he loves ding dongs. I can make you those. Nope. Nope.
I love that.
That's great. I
Love that.
True story.
Oh,
Yep. So do you know, if you came to my house, you would not know that I'm a baker. There is not a mixer. There's barely any sugar. There's like flour in a little bitty bag. It's this big, okay? So I learned a long time ago. I had a guest come to my house, and we were eating dinner, and it was just her and I, and we were done, and she goes, "What's for dessert?" And I go, "Nothing." She's like, and I'm like, "No, I'm serious. I don't." She's like, "What?" And I saw the true disappointment, like in shock. And she's like, "But I'm coming to the dessert lady's house for dinner."
yeah.
And I learned then, like, don't invite people over and have no dessert.
Yeah.
Do not do that. It is a huge
Stop at Fred
letdown.
Meyer's and buy it. and leave it in this clamshell and
Justin, you have any
everything.
of those little
Yeah.
Yeah, leave
dummies?
it in a clamshell.
That's
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's too funny.
So if you had an opportunity to make a cake, a grand cake for any celebrity, who would it be?
That's a great question.
Wow. Any celebrity? I don't know. Living? Deceased? Can it
Anybody.
be?
It could be anybody. Like, who would you want to make a cake for? Like, who would you want to impress with your dessert?
Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, that's a good one.
Wow,
That's,
Yeah.
really said that.
Yeah. She's such a legend. Like,
Yeah.
just to have a legend eat your cake, that would be the cake. That would be
I
the
love
icing
that.
on the cake right there.
That would be the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
My favorite cake is red velvet. Love
Yep.
red velvet cake. But I had a pie one time in Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and it was at this really fancy restaurant that all the numbers were in pesos for
Yeah.
the prices, so I didn't know what I was paying for. It's a very expensive dinner, by the way. But their dessert was honey pie. And that's the only time I've ever seen it. I'm just a hint.
So I'll tell
a
you
hint.
this. One thing that I think also that sets us apart is that we love to have these special requests. Or, hey, my grandmother used to make such and such. Can you make that for us? Hey, here's my grandmother's recipe. Could you? And so we love that. If you send me a message and remind me, because I don't remember what I had for breakfast, and that was just a few hours ago, I'll research it, and I will have my chefs make that for you.
I would love that. That
They
was so
they
good.
love, this is where they get so much excitement, is new and different, interesting things that. So we actually today are doing our first flourless chocolate cake.
Oh.
And we just did the lemon cake, and this is for the Independence Hotel, because we will be on their menu for, and these are the two things that they said are kind of their staples. So I went back and I said, okay, we have never done this yet, and they're excited. And this is what I said: I've got both chefs in my shop today. You make one, you make one. And make sure that you make two of them so we can try it before it goes out.
Yeah.
So they're super excited,
very
to like have a little bake off.
That pressure's on.
So it's so cute.
That's the pressure's on. It's almost like our speak offs at
Yeah.
our networks
Yeah.
meeting. But
Oh, I got two things that I want to throw at your way. Well, one's limoncello mascarpone. Oh. And then the other one is, my mom used to make dumplings, and it was 3 ingredients. I don't know what 3 ingredients are. I know it's milk,
Flour?
sugar, or no, I'm sorry, sugar.
Flour,
milk,
butter.
and salt. I thought flour, milk,
Milk,
and
salt.
salt.
Okay.
But I just, because she passed, and so I nobody can make those dumplings for me. So they're as hard as a rock.
Hard dumplings?
Yes.
Oh, like I can't even imagine. See me later.
Yeah.
I'll definitely try to
I
help
hadn't
you
thought
out.
about that until your question, and then I was like,
Yeah.
I am sitting with the right person right here that can
Yeah.
probably help me
You
put
know
it
what?
together.
We can research hard as rock dumplings
Yeah.
and see what kind of results
Yeah,
come
'cause
back.
they were like
so
just
let me
dense.
tell you
They're
something
just
else
dense.
too. Is everything starts with Google, right?
Yeah.
So you Google my chefs, what they do, especially Chef Mercedes. She sees a recipe and her mind immediately starts ticking away about, well, I'm going to add this, I'm going to make it passion fruit, I'm going to, so whatever it was in its basic element is now this refined chef special, and that's what I love. That's what I love is I work with the most creative people. Their minds work like mine, like yours. Like every time I sit with you, your wheels are turning, and I thrive
Always
on
turning.
that. Yes, yours too.
Like a bingo machine.
Well, two of my favorite people are you two. Like the ideas that come from you, that radiate from you. I can see, like especially you, I can see this idea spark. Your eyes give it away. You have this idea and you're like,
This is why I'm not good at poker, by the way.
you need sunglasses
Yeah, oh,
and maybe a mask.
two of a kind. But yeah,
That's so funny. Talk about your breakfast.
So this is a new venture, and what it is really and truly it's designed for maybe corporate places that are having a business meeting or breakfast meeting, a greeters for the chamber, right? And it can be served warm or cold. The menu that we have designed is flexible in that way. So it consists of like parfait yogurt cups, egg bites, quiche, mini cinnamon rolls, mini scones. So it's not like this, right?
Yeah.
It's this, and everybody can. So that's kind of what I've realized is the way is these like smaller portions where they can have a variety, like a buffet.
So breakfast charcuterie board.
So yeah, that would be great. We haven't exactly done that.
But that's what that kind of sounds like.
Yeah.
Little pieces of a lot
Yeah.
of things.
a little
Yep,
smorgasbord.
a little smorgasbord.
Do you do many wedding cakes?
We do. So really and truly, that's the bread and butter of the business, especially from May to September. That's wedding season. Now, like I said when I first got here, I've had to pivot, and this is the idea from some of the pivot. But whereas once upon a time it was big business for these big 3-4 tiered cakes. That is not, since COVID, that is not so much what the mass people are doing. It's more things like this. It's more a small cutting cake and a buffet or cupcakes. So we still get a few orders for the big wedding cakes, but it's more common for smaller.
So the big cakes are usually for the first time weddings, and then you see
Yeah,
a lot of
so-
cupcakes.
Yeah.
And, charcuterie boards for
That's all you're going. No, 'cause I was thinking of
For the practice marriages are always the
You're
big
so
cake.
funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know. COVID broke us, broke everyone in a way that I will tell you this too is like the bigger cakes are where your money's at.
Yeah.
These smaller cakes take just as much work, just as much employee hours, and it is not as profitable.
Yeah,
That's
so
for
the
sure.
20-ounce cups or the 20-ounce Pepsis we get in the cooler are just as expensive as 2 liters.
Yeah.
When it comes down to packaging and everything
That's
else.
right.
It's the same. The volume of it's not that big of a
That's
thing,
right.
But
But it is the way that it is now. Like there's not. I can tell you for sure that the big giant wedding cakes, not so much a thing. Some, but
Yeah, I wondered because
not
I
the
always
mass.
thought that in weddings you got to do two things exceptionally well. One is the cake, and the other is the dress.
Uh-huh.
You know, those are the two highlights of the wedding. And, you know,
and
everything
like I
else, there's
said,
a lot of pomp and circumstance and all that kind of stuff.
There,
But
people are still
really-
getting like the small cutting cake for the wedding party. It also is not common anymore to like save the top tier for a year. I did that when I was married to Joe Ashley, and I ate my wedding cake a year later. And even though it was fine, my brain couldn't get past the fact that that cake had been in there for a year.
we've got Harmony's cake in the freezer.
Yeah,
at the
that's
top of it
crazy.
that
I
you
made her
for us.
cake.
You
Yeah.
did.
Yes. Well, you'll have to let me know how it is. I've had people, I've made their cake, a giant cake. They waited 2 years. They ate some of it a year later. 2 years, 2 years. And it was like the large portion. They sent me pictures and said, oh my God, it's so good. And I said, I'm definitely going to have to take your word on that because I couldn't imagine like 2 years.
Yeah.
I kind of cringe now on the cake thing. Going to birthday parties, you go to a kid's birthday party or any birthday party, and they put the big candle right in the middle of it. And the person blows it out, and from COVID, we learned that you don't blow on the birthday cake anymore. Blow the candle out because you're spitting all over the cake or whatever. You know?
That's why you have a small party with your best
know.
friends.
I see that.
Then they don't care if you
Well,
spit.
you started this whole thing by saying you can light the top of the cake on fire.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah.
really,
Yeah.
that's kind of more like a, hey, that's okay, blow out the candle, and then we're just going to sanitize it. We're going to.
Yep. That's one
We're
way
gonna-
to do
we're
it for
gonna
sure.
cauterize the top of the
But it's funny you should say that because I really didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I think we all got past that, and we're like, we've built our immune systems up.
Yeah.
We'll get past that.
I don't know. I still cringe when I see it.
think-
I see it more now.
Well, I'll remember that. So if I'm ever eating cake with you, don't blow out the candles.
Yeah, it depends on who it is, I guess.
So, you know what's-
That's what I'm
you,
saying.
pretty
Have,
good, but-
have your best friends.
I have to say that because she's the one that bakes the cake, so if she's gonna have cake with me, I'm like, no, it's gonna be good.
Actually, it's my team.
What's really funny about that too, though, is I'm finding nowadays more and more that you'll find someone that does an exceptional job at something, and then you have everything else. And I think what's tough is it's like, you have like the desserts, and then you go somewhere, you're like, it's gritty, or it's this, or it's that.
yeah.
We do that with pizza all
Yeah.
the time, where you go there and they're like, they're using pre-cooked sausage and beef,
Yeah.
or this cheese. I mean, I can just
That's
taste all
'cause
the
you
components,
know.
Yep.
and it's like,
Yeah.
So I imagine with desserts, it's got to be interesting for you, but I can tell. I mean, when you start having like really good stuff, in the business, you start finding the people
Yeah.
that are really good at what they do in the industry, and it kind of taints you for anything else in life.
It definitely does, but one of my very favorite things, and I have met some amazing people that I still have contact with, is anywhere I go, the first thing I do is I get my phone and I Google cupcakes near me. And I go and I find the little bakeries with the little cupcake shop, and I know every town. I make it a point, hey, is the owner here? And I leave my little magnet and I leave my card and I say, I'm just passing through or whatever. Or I went to Texas, right, for my uncle's funeral. And I told my aunt, like, I got to get up early because I'm driving 40 minutes to this town over here because I follow this lady. She's been on the Food Network or whatever. I went to her shop and I got to meet her and I got to know her too. And it was like, here she is, we're talking about Food Network and HGTV, and it was like, she was amazing. And I got to meet her and I got to try her stuff. And so all along, I've met these people that have come to Salem to see me that are from a different part of the country or whatever, and that's the great thing. There are some bakeries where I can visually tell. Oh, they use a base. That mix we were talking about. I can tell because it looks different.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know that, but I do. My eye does. And so, but I still love trying other people's baked goods. I always try cake. I always try their buttercream. And, I always write a review. Yeah. I never write anything crappy either, like you were saying. I try to find the positive, and find the good and praise it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny you say that, 'cause my wife humors me by me going to the different pizza restaurants because I look at the menus, I see the different things
Yeah.
they do. I just am such a student of the industry. I really kind of dive into it, enjoy it, but then the counterbalance to that is I have to go to every quilt shop whenever we go into town. So that's our balance. But when my mom and I went to Norway, there's a bakery. Pizza place that was following us.
Oh, that's
and
so
we followed
cool.
them, so we followed each other
Yeah.
back and forth. And it was Tall Bodden Bakery that we were able to go to. I was able to go down there and have a lunch and have pizzas made out
that's
of there
so
they do the
cool.
brick, they do the more
Yeah.
of the that style. And what it is kind of just neat to be there. We missed the owner. Because of the situation, just the days and things like that. But that's really neat that you do that too, because I just I enjoy that kind of stuff, because you're meeting people and talking with people that have
Yeah.
that same framework that
Yes.
you have, and so you just sit there like
Yes.
two little kids that are just playing with their record set, going, I can't believe this is so cool,
Yeah,
And
some of my favorite. My husband and I took a 2-week vacation a few years ago up to Canada, and cupcakes near me. I found this little bakery, and the owners, it was a husband and wife team. They were there, and I met them, and we had great conversation. They came to see me. They came to see me. They were like, Michelle, we're going to be there on such and such day. I said, I'll be there. I definitely will be there. They came to my shop and they told me like all their tips and tricks and their secrets. And that was great, Oh, it was so amazing. We're still friends on Facebook. If I go back up to Canada, definitely they're close enough that I'll be seeing them.
Yeah, I think people get caught up in the competitive nature of the whole thing. I just have never,
Especially locally.
I don't get caught up in that. I just feel like find the people that like you, take care
Yeah.
of them. It's just that
Yeah.
simple. There's not a whole lot of other things. There's enough out there for everybody.
Well, and you know what's funny is like here in Salem, we're all doing something a little different. I mean, there's not a single other bakery that's like doing what I'm mostly a dessert shop. You come in, I got every kind of dessert. I got a bar, I got a slice, I got, we have cake slices now. Like we figured out how to do cake slices without the cake drying out. And so we're all doing something a little different. This is a fun little fact. Little Cannoli Bakery is actually, I went to my husband's cousin's wedding. We made the cake. I'm sitting at the same table with Little Cannoli. I'm like, what are you doing here? They're like, we're related. To who? The bride. So are we. So who knew, right? And I love Little Cannoli. Like, they are amazing, sweet people. Same with Manna.
They make amazing macaroons.
Yes, they do.
What's the coconut ball thing? That's
That is a macaroon.
Macaroon.
The other is a cookie. It's a macaron.
okay, so it's macaroons that I like.
Yes, and so Manna Bakery is another one. I went in and I introduced myself, and he was working right there at the counter. And I said, "Well, I have my pastry chef with me," and I said, "We're buying your stuff for a party." And he was like, "Hey, if you ever want to trade recipes, I would love to. I know who you are. I follow you." And I was like, "Wow." And so I have met the most amazing people where it's definitely community over competition.
Yeah.
It's collaborations. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was blown away. You want to trade recipes? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I have paperwork on my recipes. I have NDA and non-compete and all of this, that you have to sign when you come on board. But I'm always open to collaboration.
It's good to be
I
open.
wish it was a little bit more like that in the sign industry. It's
Yeah, I
a
was
little
gonna
bit
say
more
you-
competitive because we have to bid on most of our projects. We have to bid on it, and a lot of people like to take a quote and go to the next place and show it and go, and so the natural competitive of a lot of businesses are like, I'll beat that by $200
Yes.
or
I
I'll
like
match
that.
it. Yeah, and so
Yes.
yes,
It happens in my industry too.
and so I always just, when people do that with me, I'm like, well, I can't go down that low. I won't change my price. Here's my price. This is what I can, and I try to sell them on the difference between the quality and the project that we're going to do, and the delivery and the customer experience over, what that difference in the price is. Very rarely will I match a price, but I will never beat a price. I'll never go in and go, oh, well, I'm going to do it cheaper. Because I'm not going to race to the bottom. I know what my value is, and I hold my value very dearly to my heart, and I know my employees' value.
And I heard you speak about your business, and you said something that absolutely stuck with me. You said, you can go to the cheaper guy that hasn't been doing it as long, or you can come to me where we've been doing it for all these years. We're professionals, we know. And in a year or two, their stuff is peeling off. And that sat with me.
Yeah.
That sat with me. You speak volumes about your, not just your quality, but your experience. And your experience totally sets you apart from somebody else who, like you said, their stuff is peeling in a year.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah. It's just about quality, and that's what your bakery stands for, is quality, and you don't waver from that. And Oddmost Pizza is the same way. I've had pizza. I love pizza. That's one of my favorite foods of all times. And I wish you would have one down in Albany, because it's always cold by the time I get from Salem to Albany, just so you know. But the quality, you can always taste the difference in the quality and the ingredients, and that's what this is great, having the two best. You have pizza and you have bakery goods. I mean, I couldn't be in better company.
Thank
You're
you.
not eating carbs right
Thank you.
I'm not eating carbs right now. I'm telling you, man, that trip to Disneyland was crazy.
You know what? Had I been thinking, I would have brought you some keto stuff.
No, it's fine.
Because the keto is low carb.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing a meal plan where I only eat twice a day, and it's controlled amount of protein and vegetables, and I just got to do it for about 6 weeks.
Mike's fault.
I just realized that I've already done my twos today. I already had breakfast, and now this.
You ate what carbs I'd eat in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just about half an hour. No.
You'll probably finish that.
But when I do this, last year I did the same kind of diet. I lost a lot of weight, and I felt really better, because I was diagnosed a couple years pre-diabetic, and so when I eat a lot of sugar, or I eat unhealthy dairy, gluten, all that stuff, my body feels it. My body tells me.
Yeah.
And so Mike and I have been out to breakfast a lot of times, and I'll be eating a vegetable omelet with a side of fruit, and Mike's over there with a 18-ounce chicken fried steak with gravy, mashed potatoes.
But you know what? I have to tell
But he
you.
only eats about a part of it, and then he takes it with him. So I'm looking at it like, I really want that.
I can tell you, though, all of your hard work, you have transformed over the time. I've known you for a few years now, and your hard work has paid off. You look amazing.
Thank you.
You have worked very hard.
Thank you.
And you can definitely tell.
Thank you, but I've been working really hard. I've been trying to get some of my hair back, but it's not really coming back. My kids remind me all the time, "Hey, Dad, you're going bald. You know that?" No, thanks.
That's what you're there for.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. You still have good hair.
A little bit. Do you have any questions for us? You want to interview us? You said you love talking to us.
I do. So the truth of the matter is, the two of you have invested time in me. The two of you have set aside ideas and time and placement in my life that I hold dear to my heart. So when I sit down with you two, it's always, I know I'm going to leave with something new. And I usually feel like kind of hyper about that. And anything that makes me feel hyper these days is definitely where it's at.
Cool.
Where it's at. And so the thing that the thing that I love about you is you'll think of something and you'll text me or you'll pull me aside like, hey, did you think about this? Or what about this? Like, you inspired me to seek out going into restaurants. Did you know that?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm in a few restaurants, and it takes all the things, right? All the things, as I was telling you, the pivot, the hustle. So the restaurant stuff alone doesn't pay my rent, but it's all the things. And so I get these different ideas from you, the collaborations. Oh my gosh. You started something with this Salem Capitals thing. I would have never known that I love basketball if it weren't for you inviting me in. Do you know that my husband has a Salem Capitals basketball tattoo on his leg?
No, I didn't
So
know
we
that.
are lifers. We have season tickets for life because he did that. But beyond that, every time I've sat with you, you come up with this, like you get a napkin and a pen. And like when we were coming up with ideas on what to do for this coming quarter, it started like with, I said, oh, we could do like a s'mores bar. And you said a s'mores bar.
Yeah.
And then you started drawing it as I'm talking with a little pitchfork with a marshmallow. I still have the napkin.
Oh my God.
Yep. And so it's I have a picture of it too. But
Send it to me.
and so I will. And so and it kind of like morphed from that to like a brownie thing. And I think I heard that you're working on which heating delivery method you want to go with.
Yeah, and I got to talk to her chef Mercedes about that too.
Yeah.
And so I just haven't been able to get out there, but.
Yeah.
That's the thing about anything you're putting together. When it starts with just a little idea,
Yeah.
there's a lot of obstacles in the way,
Yeah.
and so you just got to keep finding.
And that's the thing I love is sitting down and navigating the obstacles because it usually leads to something new.
Yeah.
Some other opportunity or idea.
Well, like your not the breakfast thing you do, because I think that's neat, but the other thing you're doing where you have it's like a bunch of.
A buffet.
Help me.
A dessert bar buffet.
Yes, that you're doing.
Oh
now.
my gosh, it's super popular.
Yeah.
So it's affordable.
Yeah.
And you can have so many, especially if you let us pick. We're going to make sure you get some of all of it.
Yeah.
And so it's
Well, they're great conversation pieces while you're getting it there too, as far as like you're giving them such a variety and such choices and things that you just sit there and watch people do their whole like, oh my gosh, look at this one, and oh my gosh, look at that one.
Yeah.
I wonder what this is. It's almost like this with in the Harry Potter, the jelly beans. You just really don't know what you're going to get, kind of thing. But you have all those different desserts out there and different things you offer. I just think that was just, and the price point is perfect. And so you have to share that with Ashley too, so she can put it in our podcast.
Oh, I
So
definitely will.
That was she.
I have the menus printed.
But it's just, I don't know.
This is, you just mentioned the way our brains think, and it popped in my head when you were talking about at the state fair, or where you had your cake and your frame and to enter the gift card. What if you were to do your vehicle like that? Because you only got a few thousand people going to the state fair, say 10,000 people.
I'm already ahead of you.
What if you had that down a QR code on the side of your vehicle?
I have it on my back window.
Oh.
There is nothing else on the back of the car except my QR code. And do you know why? Because people are curious by nature.
Oh, yeah.
They can't see the side right there behind me. Do you know how many times I look in my rearview mirror and I see people with their phone?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we did that years ago, so probably about 2015, 16 when QR code, actually it was before that, they first started coming out. I bought a new shop van, didn't have time to wrap it. We used to pull nonprofit floats through the parade with our shop vehicle volunteer. We'd help them make some banners and we'd pull it through for the exposure. Didn't have time to wrap it. So I was like, shoot, what are we gonna do? So I did like a 5-foot QR code on the side of each side of our van, and there was nothing else on it. And while we're driving the van through the parade, and it's in Lebanon, the Strawberry Parade, and I kept hearing this, what is that on the side of that van? And people are, oh, I think that's one of them QR code things.
That's
And it
funny.
was funny because I went to my Facebook and I looked, our Facebook went up like 300
Yeah.
people that day.
Oh my gosh, that's
It
so
was
great.
So funny.
You know what's funny
so I
is
understand that.
talking about the QR codes. We actually did a little experiment as well. So we got coffee sleeves, and the only thing on the coffee sleeve is the QR code, and it says "Scan me." And when you scan it, it takes you to a secret web page on my website that says, "Bring this to Michelle Ashley Custom Cakes for a free cupcake," or "Bring your sleeve to Odd Moe's for a free garlic cheesy bread."
How'd it work?
Well, you know, some things
It,
it didn't really work.
Okay.
Yeah, but you don't
The
know
idea
until
was
you
great.
try
It
it.
was a great idea. I love it.
Yeah.
well, if
but-
anything, it showed the exposure, and that's the thing about any kind of marketing. That's why I don't get too caught up in. Like, I love your positive deal. I just absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Is you don't know that. I mean, because a lot of times we put stuff out there that we don't know where people find us from. You know, that non-intrusive media, whether it be radio or TV or whatever. A lot of times, like a wrapped vehicle, you know, they'll see it go by, and they'll see it go by, and they'll see it go by, and they're going to go find us at different times. Or when they get an idea for that, and they go, oh yeah, you know what, there's a new whatever. You never know how they find you, and so even though the coffee sleeves may them physically not have shown up, you never really know what the impact was. And so I think you always got to remain positive, because the thing is there's more exposure out there, and everybody that clicked on that thing, saw those logos and stuff, it just reinsured the confidence of what we're trying to accomplish. So
Just never know what's going to work.
because I got
you don't.
Never
I
know.
put out a
You don't.
million flyers a year, and I would say I walk down the street, and 6 out of 10 people haven't even heard of us.
Exactly.
And it's like, how can you not have heard about us? We got 4 stores in the area. We're driving around. We got car top signs on and all this, but you just
There are
sometimes-
some. That's right.
Sometimes
There are
don't
those.
get
that all
There are
the time.
those.
People, being in business 20 years in Albany, and I get people walking the door, oh, I didn't even know you were here. I'm like,
Sometimes that happens
okay.
for me too.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know,
I'll tell you what, just like on a side note, I've done it all. I've done it all. The golf benches, the publications, the TV, the commercials, the radio. I've done it all. The only thing that had the highest return was the bus ads.
I saw those all over the place.
I was on 12.
I saw those all over the place.
Oh, let me tell you, I spent years paying for that, but it was worth it. It definitely put me on the map. Do you know, people would walk in daily like, I didn't even know you were here. I saw you on the back of a bus, saw you on the side of a bus, And we had the birthday ad, we had the wedding cake ad, and it was pink, and it was, very colorful, eye-catching.
well, I get that all the time in my business from, I do a lot of service-based businesses, and a lot of them are just just an owner. They have one vehicle, and we do a really bright, beautiful wrap on it, and they come in a month later and they say, I should have done this years ago. People tell me they see my vans everywhere, and do I have a fleet? And it's not because
Wow.
you just notice
Yeah.
the vehicle sticking out. And so, like for me, on vehicle wraps, I see them so much. When I go to Portland, I'll see on an average a dozen wraps that I've done between Albany
That's
and
so
Portland.
great.
Just from that. So you
Wow.
and
I've
it's
thought
crazy
about-
because they stick out.
I've thought about investing the money to have my own vehicle wrapped. It definitely, the way that it is now, it's just all black with my logo on the side, and it is definitely my branding. I did see this cute little, I don't know, it was like a bus, little car looking thing, definitely like a courier type thing. And it was pink, and it caught my eye, and I was thinking, I would like to have a pink car.
We've wrapped pink cars.
I know. We
That's
could
what's crazy
redesign.
about it is you can take a purple car and make it pink. You can take a black car and make it pink.
I know
You can
it.
take a white car and make
Well,
it
maybe
pink.
we'll have to
Okay.
do some. Well, this is gonna be on camera, but maybe we should do some trading for some cakes.
Oh God, I would be
high
caking
fives.
for a long time. Yeah. Well,
right, we gotta-
thanks for everything that you do, both of you. Thanks for having me on today, and I'm just so grateful. I'm truly, truly grateful for the places that you both have in my life. I want you to know that.
what I'm really great. Thank you so much for that compliment. I love that.
I'm over
And-
here just kind of.
I that's what I love about you. Your energy is off the charts from the day I met you. And the funny thing about it is, I told these two, man, we're going to have a really packed day for our podcast because we had you on there and we had Bonnie on before, and talk about blowing the roof off the place. The energy. I don't know how. I could never keep up with you. You're just so on the go, on the go, on the go. You are, and I just love that about you.
Yeah, it's just
Well,
the
thank you.
genuine passion.
You are genuine, very
Thank you.
genuine.
It's very inspiring.